Okay, this is attorney Doug Pinkham with Pinkham and Associates. We are a dedicated family law firm in Orange County, California. However, this information that I'm putting together on these videos is good throughout the state of California. So if you are trying to put together your divorce, or if you're trying to put together a paternity action, or if you're going to the court to ask for child support or spousal support or custody orders, whatever you're trying to do, you're going to need at one time or another a declaration. And this video is about how to put together a proper declaration for court. A declaration can be done on a form. There are forms that are ready for that where you can handwrite a declaration. Those are easy to locate. This thing I'm showing you now is how to put together a declaration on your computer and type it out, so it's way more professional and just much better for the court to see. Some of you can see the beginnings, the top of the declaration already on your screen. Some of you cannot. Those that cannot, you can see the link below that you can click on and download this declaration. This declaration is only an example of what you need to put together. Obviously, you'd put your name at the top and your information, your address, your phone number, and then it's going to be your story, not, you know, this fictitious, I put Jane Johnson here and her husband David Johnson, but obviously it's going to be your information. So everything on here is just example information that you're going to manipulate to work in your case. Okay, so let's get started on this declaration. At the top, first of all, let's talk about the paper itself. This is what's known as pleading paper. It's got, the California law says that if you're going to type something to the court, it must be on pleading paper. That means it's got this border on the left-hand side and 28 lines. So you can find that online. That's easy to download. We also will provide it here on this website. There'll be a link for it right here, completely blank, so you can fill it in to fit your needs. But this is pleading paper, and this declaration, which by the way is just a story to the judge, giving the judge information, and it's sworn under penalty of perjury. So language at the bottom is going to say, I swear under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing was true and correct. That must be on there, and it must be signed and dated for the declaration to be valid. Okay, so I'm going to give you this example, and you're going to download one, or you're going to use an example that we provide you on a link to put together your own declaration. Now, again, this declaration will be used whenever you're trying to tell the court something. So, for example, you're trying to ask the court for child support. You're going to explain in this declaration what you want and why you need it. So you're going to ask for child support, and you're going to say, I'm not working, or this is my income, this is the other party's income, this is how much the child spends, this is the schedule the child stays with me, and this is the schedule the child stays with dad or children. Whatever the story is, you need to understand that whatever you want the judge to know, you need to put it in your declaration. Do not, and hear what I'm saying here, do not count on the opportunity to speak to the judge at your hearing. I know that sounds strange, but there are many, many, many different reasons why you may not get a chance to actually speak to the judge and tell the judge your story at your hearing. Now, even if you get to talk to the judge, I guarantee you, you're not going to have the amount of time that you want to explain to the judge everything you want the judge to know. And you are not likely to know how to present information and evidence to the judge. You're not going to be familiar with the evidence code. You're not going to be familiar with the rules of procedure. You're not going to be familiar with the local procedural rules. So make sure you put whatever you want the judge to know. Make sure you put it into your declaration. Okay, that's all the fundamental information I have on this. Let's get into some information right on the form. So you will notice on the form that your name and address and phone number are on the top left-hand side. That must be there. Then you will see that the court name needs to, and you can use this format, the Superior Court of State of California in and for the County of Orange or Santa Barbara or whatever it may be. You can use this exact format and you're going to be in great shape. So if you can download this and just type over what I've put in there and put your own information in there, you're going to be in great shape. All right. So, and understand that the Superior Court of State of California in and for the County of Orange, whatever the court name that you're going to put in there, that needs to start by law. It needs to start on line number 8. All right. Then you will notice that your name, if you're the petitioner, if you're the respondent, your name's going to go down on the respondent and the other party's name is going to be on the petitioner. But the petitioner's name needs to be on line number 10. That's the law. I know it sounds silly in particular, but that way there's uniformity and the judges know exactly where to go on every single form to look for what they need to look for. All right, and then off to the right-hand side there is your case number. You're going to write that in there in that fashion, whatever your case number is, and they're all in different forms. Like in San Bernardino or Riverside, they start out with letters and then there's a string of numbers. In Orange County, as you can see, it starts out with the last 2 digits of the year and then a D or a P or an FL or whatever number, whatever kind of case it is, and then another set of numbers. Well, however your case number is configured, put it in there correctly. Then right underneath there is in bold, you're going to put exactly what this declaration is for. So, for example, this one is the beginnings of a declaration of, and whether you're the petitioner or the respondent, you don't need both names there. So put the petitioner or the respondent, depending upon which one you are. And if this is your declaration in support of what you're asking for, like you're bringing the motion or the request for order, then it's in support of what you are asking for. If you are filing a declaration in opposition to something that your spouse or the mother or father of your child, the other party, if they filed something and you're filing your declaration in opposition to their filing, then you're going to write in opposition to. And it's on the form right there. So you got to pick in support of or in opposition to the order to show. Excuse me, this is real old. I'm going to change this right here in front of you. It's not an order to show cause anymore. It's a request for orders for, or a request for order for child support and spousal support. So it's whatever it's in support of or in opposition to, whatever is being brought. So if your spouse is bringing a request for attorney's fees, then your declaration might be in opposition to the respondent's request or the petitioner's request for attorney's fees. I hope that's clear. Anyway, keep it simple. You don't overthink this. If you're bringing the motion, it's in support of. If you're fighting the motion somebody else brought, it's in opposition to. And it's in opposition to whatever they're bringing. Okay, next step. And then you don't need this necessarily, but if you know the date and the time and the location, department number of the hearing that's coming up, put those in there in that fashion, in that location there. And then the next line is, again, a title there. That may be just design over function or function over requirement. That's not necessarily required right there. You can dive right into your declaration, but I put another title there. And then we get into the declaration. So actually, this is Jane's. I changed it. So this is I, Jane Johnson, hereby declare. And this first paragraph here, this is mandatory. This is language that must be at the beginning of every declaration. And it says, I am the petitioner or respondent. Actually, Jane is the petitioner, so we could get rid of respondent here. So I am the petitioner in the above noted matter and the moving party in the herein order to show cause. Again, that's request for order. Request for order for child support and spouse support. I have personal knowledge of the facts stated herein, and if called to testify as a witness, I could and would competently testify thereto. So that's necessary at the beginning of any declaration. Okay? Then you move on with the story. And for example, this one, she starts out with, the respondent and I have one child, Nathan Johnson, born February 2nd, 2002. And then you go on with your story. In here, it's, you don't write story there, obviously. You just go on with your, you start telling the judge what you want the judge to know in support of your request. So she moves on with this story, and she talks about losing her job and where she used to work and how much she used to make, but she doesn't make any money anymore. And that's what all this is about. And then down here, notice on number 12, it says, tell the rest of your story. Make sure if you want the judge to know it. This is what I said earlier. So make sure if you want the judge to know it, you must write it. Do not plan on being able to tell the judge. Fix something real quick. Do not count on the opportunity to tell the judge any further information at the hearing. For countless reasons, you may not be able to have a chance or the opportunity to tell the judge what you really want the judge or what the judge needs to know to give you what you're asking for. So make sure you put it in here. And then you finish every declaration off with this. You want to put a little paragraph title that says requested relief and what you're asking for. So if you're asking for child support and you're asking for spousal support, put in exactly what you're asking for. If you're asking for attorney's fees, put in there, I'm asking for attorney's fees in the amount of $10,000 or $70,000 or $270,000. Whatever it is you're asking for, if your declaration was clear enough on why you need it and why it's appropriate and how the other party has the ability to pay and how you need it, then that's what would be in there. If you're asking for custody orders, of course you want to give the judge all the background on what kind of parent you are, what kind of parent the other side is, and why the children should be with you primarily, and what schedule you want the other party to have, if that's what you're asking for. Just make sure you tell the judge your story, and make sure the judge knows exactly what you're asking for and why. Always, always, always make sure your declaration is written in a manner that is telling the judge this is what you want because it's in the child's best interest. Because it's in the child's best interest. If it's in your interest and not the child's best interest, good luck. You're not going to get it. You need to realize that that judge is sitting up there on that bench to protect kids, to take care of children, not you. The judge, I always tell my clients, frankly, the judge doesn't give a darn about you or the other party. Don't care about the adults. The judge is on the bench in family court to take care of children. So make sure everything you're writing in that declaration is for the benefit and the best interest of the kids. That's from where you write your declaration. All right, at the bottom of every declaration is absolutely mandatory. This language needs to be in there. I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of California, that the foregoing is true and correct, period. Then you'll date it and sign it beneath there. Okay? That is a declaration. Now understand, again, this form I put together for you, this is just an example. It's just an example. You need to take everything out of there and replace it with your information. So if I were you, I'd use this form, but I would start at the very top. Put your name in there, your address in there, and delete the information that's on here. By the way, don't be nervous about the information that's on here. It's all bogus information. It's made up out of my head. It's nobody real. It's not real numbers. It's not real companies. It's not real information at all. So don't be nervous that this is actually one of my clients, Jane Johnson. It was not. All right, folks. That is a declaration. Again, it is needed for many, many different things that you're asking for or that you're fighting against in court. You can use it all the time to tell the court what it is that you want and why. All right, folks, if you use this format, your declaration will turn out okay. I can't promise you what's in your declaration, so make sure that, that's a different story. But the format, I can tell you, is going to be good if you use this format. All right, folks, again, my name is Douglas Pinkham. I'm with Pinkham & Associates. We are a dedicated family law firm in Orange County, California. All we do is practice family law, and I hope this video was helpful for y'all. Thank you very much.